Box to Box FPL show. We are back. This is season 2, episode 1. And 24-25 season is underway, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a crazy game week 1. The likes of Saka, the likes of Salah, everyone going off. If you didn't have any of them, if you didn't have Haaland, hey, you're suffering. You're suffering out here. But ni hali ya maisha. This is how people normally start FPL. The key thing is just to be consistent and don't get minuses early. Like last year, I think we'll still stick to our game plan of -8 for the whole season. Nothing more than -8. Last year we ended up getting a bit more. I think we ended up getting like -16 for the whole season, if I'm not wrong. So I'm really going to try and stick to that -8. But anyway, new rules FPL this year. The biggest one is the fact that unaweza kuwa na 5 transfers. Like you can actually stack them up to 5, and that is what I am going to do. That is what we are going to do. And we don't care even if we got 51 points. Even though we got 51 points. Yeah? How is our team looking? Yeah, we did get 51 points. Our team was not looking that great. But what is important is that we have started. It's possible to get 51 points and not have Haaland, so at least hatuko kwa hiyo shida. Yeah, we benched Pedro Porro. That was probably one of the dumbest things we have ever done in our fantasy careers. But 6 points below average is, no, it's not good. There's no positive news. The only thing I can say is that we're not making any subs. Tunaendelea tu hivyo. Anyway, team yetu ilikuwa hivi, tulikapten Isak, at least alipata assist against Southampton. They got an early red card. Hard to judge Newcastle and Isak in particular because they played almost majority of the game. Actually, they did play majority of the game with 11 men. With 10 men. So a bit hard to judge him, but Szoboszlai gave us something in midfield. Very impressed by him because sababu iyo mid ya Liverpool. I predict it's going to get a lot of points this year. Defense to purely come through. Gabriel 6 points, Vardiol 7 points, Flecken 7. Haaland naye alifunga against Chelsea to give us 7 points. So that's 51. People are getting 127. We're getting 51. That is wild. Yeah, so that is how our game week 1 went. In terms of leagues, yani tushafika number 2,200 kwa ligi yetu ya box to box.
Fatality.
Our own league, 2,201. That is wild. Good company, 5,700. Football Digest, shout out to Nyash, Football Digest. We are 486 in the Football Digest League. 161,923 in Kenya. 5.8 million in the world. Anyway, it's just game week 1. It normally starts like this. And then, yeah, things pick up. So, yeah, now after game week 1, obviously we're going into an interesting game week where I think some things are obvious, some things are not obvious. We are going to just touch over a few players who we think would be amazing for this game week 2. But before we get there, I would like to talk about the latest additions to FPL. We have obviously Niklas Füllkrug, who joined West Ham, coming in at 7 million. Joao Felix, 6.5 million for Chelsea. Man City's Savio, who was really, really good, by the way, 6.5. Evan Nilsson, Bournemouth's record signing, coming in at 6 million. Interesting to see how he plays. Calafiori, Arsenal defender, 6.0. Who else was a big one? Yeah. And obviously Sanderberg, who moved to Fulham from Brentford, I want to say. Coming in at 5 million. Matthias de Ligt, United defender, 5.0 mil. That's probably going to be a bargain. Mazrui as well at 4.5 mil. It's probably going to be another really good player to have on your team and someone worth considering if you're having issues with the likes of Kwanzaa. And we shall get into that shortly. So yeah, those are the latest additions into FPL. And guys, if you want to know more about all these players, tuko na WhatsApp group pale, community mzima WhatsApp. Link is in the description. Make sure you click there. Just go there. There's FPL, there's rugby, there's football, there's everything. So whatever you feel like watching, being a part of, banter, info, like there's everything. So yeah, we have that. Yeah. So now we're going into game week 2. And these are our fixtures for game week 2. Obviously, the first game is Brighton going up against Man United. That's at 2:30 on Saturday. Then we have the 5 p.m. games. Palace versus West Ham, Fulham versus Leicester, Man City versus Ipswich. Here we are expecting to eat. Southampton versus Nottingham Forest, Tottenham versus Everton, and then a big one in the evening, Aston Villa going up against Arsenal, the Emery Derby. Then on Sunday, Bournemouth versus Newcastle, Wolves versus Chelsea. Those are the 4 p.m. games. And then Liverpool versus Brentford. So up every game week 2, there's some people, obviously, we need to really, really be mindful of and think about. If you want to make subs, you want to go for a wild card, there are people you want to really, really think about and have in your team. So I'm going to start with the people who you should be considering for just the game week 2 fixtures. If you're looking at starting someone who's on your bench or you want to bring in one sub here and there, these are the people you should go and look out for. So we're going to go at the key players, fixture by fixture, for game week 2. Hey, Mazi, it's been long since I did this, but here we go. Brighton versus Man United. We have Kaoru Mitoma and Danny Welbeck, who was amazing in his last game against, I forget who it was, Everton, yes. Then Bruno Fernandes, who had very, very interesting underlying stats, but didn't do well, or rather didn't give you anything in terms of output, but the XG was really good. The expected assist was really good. Like, he's a player who was, like, I don't know how he didn't score points. Palace versus West Ham, we're looking at Eze, Mateta, Munoz, and obviously for West Ham, Lucas Paqueta. Fulham, you have Muniz and Pereira. Vardy up front, the man who scored against Tottenham. Man City versus Ipswich, it's only 3 people. Haaland, KDB, and Doku. Southampton going up against Nottingham Forest. This is going to be, I feel like, a very interesting game, probably high scoring. You have Adam Armstrong, Southampton striker. Then you have Wood up front for Nottingham Forest, who's looked really good so far. Finished the season strong last season, started strong this one. Elanga and Morgan Gibbs-White, who is on penalties, free kicks, everything. Then he might not be on penalties, but something like that. Tottenham versus Everton, Solanke, Son, and Maddison. News just came out that Solanke is actually ruled out for this game week, but he was on my short list, and at the time of shooting, he's been ruled out, so it's good we're shooting now. Then Aston Villa versus Arsenal, looking at Bailey, Watkins, Saka, Odegaard, and Saliba. Sunday's games, Bournemouth versus Newcastle. There's only one man here, Isak. That's the main man. Then Wolves versus Chelsea, the Pedro Nieto derby. I need to find that Chelsea chant first before we even get there. The Pedro Neto derby. We are looking at Mateus Cunha and Cole Palmer. Palmer is the game they played yesterday against Servette, the Europa Conference League game. I wanted to up on number 10. So he's back. He's back to a position that suits him. Previous game, they played Enzo there. Enzo Maresca played Enzo Fernandez there. And it didn't really, I guess, to just try and nullify Man City. But I think Palmer will be back in the middle. Then Liverpool going up against Brentford. We are looking at Salah, Jota, Luis Diaz. And then for Brentford, Visa and Mbeumo, who are looking quite solid to start the season. And yeah, Jota specifically is someone that I'm really interested in. But yeah, those are your key players from every fixture. And with that being said, we're going to just jump straight into the differentials. The players who I think, in my opinion, these 4 players, if you're looking for differential, these are the people that you're going to be targeting this week. Starting with Jeremy Doku, Man City. Boy, played 90 minutes. When Pep had to make a sub, he brought out Savinho, left Doku in, and he's playing Ipswich at home. First home game. This one is going to be high scoring. They've just sent Gundogan, which means they're probably going to unveil him there or give him his first game. He had a 22-point haul last year, and he has a potentially big game here. That was against Bournemouth, so he has the potential to actually go crazy. Ipswich were good in the first half versus Liverpool, but collapsed in the second, and Doku was... Yeah, Doku's gonna feast. Second up, Chris Wood. Great game versus, in his last game, I forget who they played. Who did they play? Fulham, Everton. One of them. I can't remember. They're playing Southampton, who have a really poor defense. They were 17th worst in terms of goals conceded in the league last year. That's in the championship. He had a 9-point haul in game week 1. Expect him to go crazy again. Rodrigo Muniz playing Leicester at home. Leicester concede a lot of chances, insane amount of chances. Leicester also joined second worst in total shots conceded in the box and total shots conceded on target. So yeah, Muniz is someone who is going to eat. And lastly, his teammate Anthony Robinson, the American, is playing against Leicester. Again, same things I've said. Leicester concede a lot of shots in the box, a lot of shots on target. And Leicester also produced the second worst total attempts in game week 1. So there's also a potential for clean sheet. Then on top of that, Robinson obviously last season was amongst the 6 best defenders in the league for expected assists and actual assists. So he has he's a threat going forward. So definitely someone worth considering for your differentials. Differentials basically means people who other people don't have, right? So their ownership is low and they have a good chance of actually getting points. So yeah, those are the players that we're looking at in terms of differentials. And then today's just quick one. Take it. No wasting time. Captain Picks is our next one. Captain Picks, we have none other than your boy Erling Haaland. I think it's just fair not to beat around the bush. He's the best captain pick this week. In fact, he's a triple captain option for some people. I still think it's a bit too early to triple captain. I don't think they're still hitting on all cylinders, so I wouldn't triple captain him just yet. But Ipswich conceded 18 shots and 6 big chances at home last game against Liverpool. That was an XG conceded of 2.86. That's insanely high. Man City struggled to create chances versus Chelsea's mid-block, but one thing we know is that Foden had one more game under his belt, so they're just going to pick it up from here. First game of the season at home. I'll be saying that a lot today because it's true. This is the first game of the season for most of these players. Doku and Savinho they're really going to cause problems for Ipswich, and Haaland is going to be at the end of that. So Haaland is our top pick for captain. Second place, our second top captain is Mo Salah. Liverpool beat Brentford 3-0 at home last year, 4-1 away. So this is just a great fixture for Mo Salah and for Liverpool. Also, it's their first home game under Arne Slot. So, yeah, it's going to be rocking. Brentford allowed the most chances from wide areas last season. Salah had a goal and assist in the last game versus Ipswich. So, projected to get high points. Alexander Isak going up against Bournemouth, who conceded the most shots from central areas. In terms of shots conceded from every part of the field, they really conceded a lot of shots from central areas. And they're sixth most shots conceded from central areas in the league. So Alexander Isak, someone worth watching. He looked very sharp in preseason, also got an assist and looked very good against Southampton. So captain pick. Fourth place, Bukayo Saka. Aston Villa only kept 4 clean sheets last season. They conceded a lot of big chances. That high line, Arteta is going to find a way to exploit it. So and last game, Saka looked really good. Goal and assists in game week 1 versus Wolves. Aston Villa also allowed the most shots from wide areas. So that suits both Saka and Martinelli. And yeah, that's why Saka is one of our picks for captain this week. And Eberechi Eze. The man was unlucky not to get points last week. He was so good. Free kick disallowed. Had an assist that was also disallowed for offside. Rightfully so. The free kick, not rightfully so. I feel like it was a mistake. That goal should have stood. West Ham conceded 46 goals last year. I know it's a new season, but those are some things that actually take time to rectify. So, yeah, and last week they actually conceded quite early. They allowed 15 shots and 4 big chances versus Aston Villa, on top of conceding in the first 2 minutes of the game. So, Eze is going to be a big one this week. But in terms of captain pick is actually our 5th choice. And more importantly, he has returned in each of his last 3 games versus West Ham, including double digits at home last season. And those are our captain picks for game week 2. And with that being said, this is how our game week 2 team looks like. At the back, we have Dean Henderson going up against West Ham. First of all, you've not made any subs. As I told you, I'm going for that 5. I need that 5 FT at the top there in the next 4 weeks. At the back, we have Robinson, Pedro Porro, and Vardiol. Pedro Porro is still a yellow over here, but according to Ange's pre-match, he said the guy is fit, so we have him in our squad. So Bosley in midfield, Eze in midfield, Odegaard in midfield, and Gibbs White in midfield. Great fixtures for Eze. So Bosley, West Ham and Brentford at home. Odegaard plays Aston Villa away, and Gibbs White, Southampton away. Then up front, we have Haaland, who's our captain, Isak, and João Pedro. Flecken is on our bench. Smith Rowe is the first sub. Gabriel is the second sub. And Kwanzaa is the third sub. And I need to just touch up on Kwanzaa a bit. Like, he's already dropped to 4.4. He was taken off early at halftime last week, so he didn't even get the 2 points for playing 60 and the clean sheet, which he definitely will have gotten. And yeah, it looks like he's also going to miss this game. So that's one of those punts that has just not paid off very early. But one of the things that I was very mindful of doing at the beginning of the season is having money in the bank for things like this, right? Because at 4.5, drops 4.4 and you have 0 in the bank, you can't do anything. You don't have flexibility. We have 1.5, I think, in the bank. So there's still very much, there's quite a bit we can do with that money, even though he drops. So I'll just keep him there. Last player on the bench, even if he drops to 4.3, 4.2, it's not an issue. We have money in the bank. We just need to get some guys' value to go up and we'll be good. But in any case, that's why that 1.5 was there, right? For things like this. So I think we're good. As I said earlier, our captain is none other than your boy. Ipswich, conceding 18 shots and 6 big chances at home against Liverpool. This is just the second game. The majority of the squad is not even like Premier League. They don't have Premier League experience. So they're really, really going to go through it. And these guys have just signed Gundogan. It's going to be rocking. First game back as champions at home. Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer for us in terms of captain. If he blanks, it will be the biggest shock in life. After that game where Liverpool scored 9 goals and Salah only got 2 points. Yeah, it'll be something like that. Yeah, so that's basically it. Is there anything else I've missed out? Yeah, that's basically it. We will probably be doing a live for which game exactly? Definitely the Aston Villa versus Arsenal game. So if you follow us on TikTok, on YouTube, we'll be going live. Make sure you tune in. Again, you guys can join the group. There's a lot of FPL fans who are there and just ready to banter, help you out with your squad, have fun, and yeah, just do the most. Again, we are back. This is our first episode of season 2 of the BoxtoBox FPL show. And as always, you guys, thank you. Like, share, subscribe, and leave comments. What you think about the team? Who's your captain? I want to know all those things. Make sure you put it in the comment section. Peace.